All right, so let me see here. I want to share the whole desktop. Share. All right, guys, pardon the mess. Let me fix a few things here. Okay, so good morning, guys. We're going to be talking about the best and most systematic way to communicate with your database. Now, first of all, let's talk about the importance of your database. We always say that the database is essentially the vital sign. It is the pulse of your business. And I'll give you an example. What we see very often is an agent that simply takes business as it comes in. Hopefully it comes in regularly, but the problem is it isn't always going to come in consistently. So the solution to that is we have a database. So let me change my view so it goes to speaker. We'll do gallery. There you go. Okay. So here's what we're going to do today. We're going to be talking about the hidden business that is within your business, and that is the business of your database. It could stand on its own 2 feet if you treat it well. And let's use some math here. So a database, when marketed correctly with the system that we're going to talk about, should give you a 10% return on the number of contacts. Now, let me give you an example because I know that's a little wordy. If you have a database of 100 people, you should get 10 pieces of business from that database. If you have a database of 200 people, you should get 20 pieces of business. Now, let me cover myself here. I'm going to cover my butt. These pieces of business are not all going to be transactions. Some might be rentals, some might be leases, some might be a referral that doesn't work out. There's going to be lots of various pieces of business, but in a perfect world, if you have a 100-person database, you get 10 pieces of business from that, and only 5 of those are transactions. You're doing great. So now that we understand that, a lot of times when I meet with an experienced agent or even a newer agent, we look at their database. And I can't tell you how often somebody is so proud of themselves. They're like, take a look at my database. I have 500 people in my database. And then we ask them the question, great, how many transactions did you do last year? And they say they did 3. Like, okay, well, there's definitely a missed opportunity in there. Very rarely do I see somebody getting the 10% from their database because very rarely do I see people treating their database the way they should be treating it. So, the solution, how on earth do you keep in contact with a database of 100 people? I mean, that is really hard to do. Well, there has to be a system in place. And there's a model that I'm going to share my screen now into. Oh, yeah, I'm already am sharing my screen. So I'm going to go into what's called the 36 touch. Okay. So now the 36 touch is exactly what it sounds like. You are going to be touching your database 36 times throughout the whole year. Now, already I'm going to lose some people because they're going to say, there's no way I'm going to touch 36. I'm sorry, there's no way I'm going to touch my 100-person database individually 36 times. Well, it's surprising how actually easy this is. So let's talk about it. What is involved in a 36 touch? We're going to start with the most important, and that is the quarterly call. You are only going to call your database 4 times, or each person in your database 4 times. So really easy math there, right? January, make a call. Okay, the next quarter, April, make a call. September, December. You cut up the year however you'd like, and there's actually a system of how to do that. But this is going to cover 4 touches right out of the gate. Next, you are going to do 4 handwritten. Now it says personal cards and notes. I'm going to change that into 4 handwritten notes. Now you might say, what in the world am I supposed to send a handwritten note about? Well, this is kind of known as a habit stack. You're going to start the habit of making a call. You're going to stack the habit of writing a note right after the call. So if I'm going to call one of my clients in my database and their name is Deborah, I'm going to make a call to Deborah and I'm going to ask her how things are going. Just, how's life? How are the kids? How are the grandkids? Whatever. And then immediately after that call's over, I'm going to write a handwritten note that says, Deb, it was so great to catch up with you. I'm so glad that the grandkids are doing well. I can't believe they're already in second grade, whatever. I'm going to write that handwritten note and I'm going to throw it in the mail. Okay. Next handwritten note can absolutely be a Christmas card. Next handwritten note should be a birthday card. And then the last handwritten note, be creative. It could be a Halloween, it could be a home anniversary card. But that right there, we're already at 8 touches. 8 touches. Now I'm going to skip down to the last one because I know that third one's going to scare people. The next one is a monthly newsletter. This is the highest leverage one, in my opinion, because you are doing marketing your one item to many all at once. You are going to write a monthly newsletter for your database. Now, does it need to be that crazy? And before you go and say, well, I don't know how to write a newsletter, Gabe, like, what do I say? There's this lovely thing called Chat GPT. And all you need to do, and I'm not saying have it write the whole thing, but just brain dump into ChatGPT. I want to talk about how many families I've helped this year. It's been 3. I want to talk about interest rates because they're at around 6.5%. I want to talk about inventory in Pasadena. There's still 3 months of inventory, and I want to share that that is representative of a seller's market still. At the very end of the email, I want to say, I'm never too busy for your referrals and stay tuned for our next client event. ChatGPT will take all of that information and make it sound good. And again, it's you. You're the one giving the information, but ChatGPT is going to write it for you. Okay, you can send this email through command. Now, what a lot of people will do is they'll actually template this. They'll create kind of like categories in the email. The first one will be how many families we've helped. That can change. Hopefully, it changes a little bit. The middle one is going to be a market update. You're going to keep that blank. And then the last one is going to be that you're never too busy for their referrals and you're looking forward to your next client event. That could stay the same. So you could pre-write 3 emails at a time, and then when it's time to send it, update the current interest rate, the current inventory, and things like that. So what are we at now? We are at 4, 8, 20. We are at 20 touches. We have 16 to go. Now, this is where I know I'm going to scare some people. So let's take a quick break and let's talk about what happens during these calls. Because I know a lot of people are going to say, especially if you're a millennial or younger, you're going to say, I don't like to talk on the phone. Okay, I got it. So here's a cheat sheet. It's called Ford. Ford is really simple when you think of it. You're talking about their family. You're asking about their occupation. You're asking about their recreation, and you're asking about their dreams. And that sounds a little cold, so let me give you some examples. How are the kids doing in school? Hey, how did that job promotion go? I know you were nervous about that. Recreation. What have you guys been doing for fun? I hear a lot of people are picking up pickleball. Have you guys thought about that? Dreams. Hey, any plans for vacations next year? What are you guys doing for Christmas? What are you guys doing for Hanukkah? What are you guys doing for New Year's? Okay. So recreation and dreams a lot of times go together really well. And family and occupation are usually going to go together pretty well as well. Now, it doesn't mean you go through everything. You don't have a checklist and you're like, okay, now that we talked about your family, how is your occupation? You might stay the whole time on recreation. If I call one of my buddies, Austin, I guarantee you we will stay on recreation the whole time talking about fantasy football. If I talk to one of my buddies Dave, he's in law enforcement. A lot of times we just talk about how that's going. How's that weighing on him? How's he doing? If I call my brother, we're going to be talking about family. Okay? So this gives you an evergreen framework to talk to people. And if you can't remember Ford, I mean, hopefully we can get that to stick in there because Ford is the key to any conversation. And it should go without saying that notice these are all questions. So you don't need to come to the conversation with every single answer. You just need to ask questions. People love, where's this book? How to Win Friends and Influence People. People love talking about themselves. And it's not because they're egotistical, it's just human nature. People love to be asked how things are going with them. They love to be cheered. They love to be supported. Okay. Um, and by the way, you're putting notes in your CRM when you're calling these people. You're putting notes in your CRM so that the next time I call this person and they said they were nervous about a job transfer, I'm going to look at my notes and say, "Hey, when we spoke, you were super nervous about that job transfer. How's that going?" They're going to think you are the most thoughtful person in the world. And it's not that you're not, you're just going to make it into a system. Now, here's another question. How do I know who to call, Gabe? I have a database of 150 people. I mean, that's kind of a lot. Well, there's a solution for that. This is called the DTD2 system. Now, what this does is it breaks up your database into manageable chunks. Okay. So let's take a look at what this is. There are 13 weeks in a quarter. Okay. So week one, you're going to call every single client whose last name starts with an A and a W. And you're going to text everyone's last name who starts with an M. Now that could be 5, it could be 25, it could be 3. That's all you're going to do for that week. Next week, B and E. So if you have a Escobar in your database, they're going to get a call. If you have a Smith in your database, they're going to get a text. All the way down to week 13. And if somebody ends in, let's see, Zepeda, they're going to get a call. If somebody ends in Frank, their last name is Frankfurt, they're going to get a text. Now, notice what happens here. As soon as I finish my 13th week and I finish with the Y's and the Z's, my next week, week one of quarter two, I start back at the top. And now I'm going to call my A's and my W's. I think this is actually out of line. This is supposed to be down a little bit. I'm going to call my A's and my W's again, and I'm going to text my R's. Now, I'm a little bit of a peacock. I love being in front of people and on camera, and I love talking. So I honestly wouldn't do a text. I'd send a video message. It tends to get across more of your, obviously, your tone. It's a lot warmer. It's more personalized. There's no way it was mass texted. But there are other tactics that people do. They will decide, let's say in week, let's see, where would it be? Week 4. I'm sorry, quarter 4. Let's say I'm in quarter 4 and I'm in week 6. No, week 10. I have no idea if this is correct, but I'm just going to say week 10 of quarter 4 is Christmas time. So maybe for weeks 8 through 10, I'm going to design a text template that says, "Hey, blank, Merry Christmas as it arrives, as it comes up. Let me know what you guys have planned. Would love to see you at our client event for Christmas." I'm going to copy and paste that text message and I'm going to send that to my database that are in that week. So there's just a little bit of efficiency tricks that you'll actually learn as you do this. Okay. Now, here comes the big one. I know this is going to scare a lot of people. We're going to talk about events and or giveaways. So, number one rule of an event or a giveaway. Repeat after me when you watch this video. My event does not matter. People that show up is not important. Now I'm going to say that again. My event or giveaway item does not matter. However many people show up is irrelevant. Because when you do an event, it is 4 touches built into one event. So let me give you an example. I'm going to do a pie pickup party for my whole database. It's only, I don't know, 80 people right now. My wife and I run our team. So we are going to send out a save the date that says, hey, Tuesday, whatever week of Thanksgiving that is, let's call it the 20th. Tuesday, the 20th of November, save the date. We're going to be doing a pie pickup. We'll send that in the mail. We'll design it on Canva, we'll print it out, and we'll send it out in the mail to people. That's one touch. Second touch is going to be, oh, sorry, and in that letter it says RSVP. So there's a call to action there, RSVP. The second touch is going to be calling everybody in the database and saying, hey, did you get our item in the mail? We saw that you didn't RSVP. Were you going to make it or no? It's totally fine if you can't make it. Just wanted to get a head count for the pies. That's a second touch. Now, if they did RSVP, I'm going to call them and say, hey, we got your RSVP. Just wanted to confirm it. You wanted a pumpkin pie, right? That's your second touch. Third touch is they actually come to the event. They come to the event and you see them face to face. They pick up their pie, take a picture with them, wish them a happy Thanksgiving, and off they go. By the way, we get Costco pies for like $5 because the item doesn't matter. The last touch, so that's three touches. The last touch is you call or text people and you say, hey, just wanted to say thank you so much for coming. It was awesome seeing you. Or, hey, sorry we missed you. It was a great time. Hopefully we could see you at the next one. That is 4 touches around one event. So here's what you do. You do a quarterly event. Now, I already know that's a lot. So here's the second option is a giveaway. Giveaway is really simple. Hey, we're gonna buy a carrying Yeti bag for $85. I think they're like $100. For $100. Here's what you have to do to enter the raffle. This is only for our clients and our friends and family. You're going to RSVP or you're going to send us a submission. You're going to text us anything to enter this raffle. Okay. And then at the end, we're going to see who wins the raffle. Maybe we'll even live stream it and send it out. So let's talk about those touches. The first touch is the save the date, talking about the event. It's coming up. RSVP, let us know if you're interested. The second one is to confirm. Hey, did you get that mail? Or hey, we saw you confirmed. Awesome. Looking forward to it. The third one is the actual event. Maybe we'll live stream the raffle on camera so people can see it. And then the fourth is to reach out to everybody. Well, obviously, the live event, somebody will win and you'll go deliver that item to them. And then the last one is sending out the video of the raffle. Hey, you missed it. Next time, hopefully, you can get something. Okay. Now, if you can do this, and let's talk about this in a practical way. You're going to do quarterly calls. You're going to do handwritten notes. You're going to do a monthly newsletter. And let's get practical here. You're going to do 2 events and you're going to do 2 giveaways. That is a 36 touch plan. And let me just tell you, if I sit down with an experienced agent and they have a database of 500 people and they've done 5 pieces of business, we know that they are grossly underperforming with their database. So the number one thing that we're going to have them do is pull them off of everything else they're doing. They might be doing Zillow leads. They might be doing social media. They might be doing a VA that's calling for them. They might be doing open houses. They might be doing calling expireds. I would tell them to stop everything. Stop everything that you're doing. And we're going to, for the next year, we're going to implement a 36 touch plan. Because the problem is that people that already know, like, and trust you, they're not hearing from you. Believe it or not, they're forgetting that you are in real estate. So while you're out chasing a stranger because you bought their phone number for, $1 or a Zillow lead that you bought for $100, rather than do that, you're totally skipping over the people that already know, like, and trust you. And that is the whole gist of the 36 touch campaign. And where is the book? Here's the book. We are going to be talking more and more. Let me stop share. We're going to be talking more and more about this book right here, The Rookie Real Estate Agent. Now, if you have done less than, I'd say, 5 deals in a year, this is probably the book for you, if I'm being honest. Now, I know a lot of agents are going to say, well, I've been in the business for 15 years and yeah, I only do 5 deals a year, but you know that's just how my business is. Okay, that's fine, but just understand, I would still consider you a rookie real estate agent because you haven't done enough to experience what would be known as the red book, the MREA book. This is a starting point. And anybody that says, I'm not a rookie, I don't need this book, I would challenge them and say, hey, show me your database. Are you doing a 36 touch campaign? Yes or no? I'm willing to bet the answer is no. But your money is in your database. It's already there. I told one agent I was meeting with them that, and this gal was a producer. She was doing, I think, 17 million in volume. Her goal was 30 million. She was doing about 10 different tactics in order to try to close that gap. When I met with her, I told her the extra 13 million in volume that you need is already in your database. It's already there. Our job now is to systematically work your database and find it. It's already in there. It's already there. So I hope this was helpful, guys. Again, this was the 36 touch campaign, 36 touch plan. Sorry, it's basics. This is fundamentals. This is the Dodgers every single year, best baseball team in the world. Every single year at the start of the season, they're hitting off of a tee. That same T is used in T-ball, yet they still go back to the basics. So you're never too big for the basics. Look into your database. If you would love to do this, I would love to meet with you. Look at your database and let's figure out what you should be getting out of your business. Okay. So make it a great day, guys. Win the day, and we will talk to you later.